covered, and these are very legal words, but malicious damage. That means that you're doing something on purpose. If you were to purposely throw it or purposely break it or purposely damage it, that's not going to be covered, and you're going to be assessed a fine because of that for it to get fixed. Also, another legal word is negligent. That means that you are failing to take care of it. So if you are failing to take proper care of your device, that means that you're kind of just over the top and not going to do the things that are listed in the handbook. So if you take it out of its case, if you're going to use beverages right next to it and then you spill it on top when you know that you shouldn't be having beverages next to it, then you might be assessed a fee if that were to happen. So you want to make sure that you're following all those things that are in the handbook, and maybe give it one more glance before you hand in the form saying that you agree to everything in there. Now, some other people ask, well, what if I lose it, or what if it's stolen? Well, this is a really big deal. Immediately after figuring out that you don't know where your Chromebook is, you need to go down to Student Services, and you need to file a report with them and our police liaison officer. They're going to file that report so that they can try to find it. But you do need to know that you may be responsible for the replacement cost of the device if you cannot turn it in at the end of the year. But you need to go to report that right away in case that they can find it. And each device is going to be specifically tied to your name and your ID and checked out to you. So you can't just produce another one and place it. It needs to be the one that's checked out to you. Some of the simple questions: can I plug in a mouse? Is there a camera? The answer is yes on most of these. There's 2 USB ports, they're different types, as well as an HDMI port, and there's also an SD card reader. And there is a built-in camera in your Chromebook. So you'll be able to record different things and be able to see those things, plug in a card, use things from a USB, or just plug in a mouse that uses a USB or a wireless USB. Can you take it out of the case? A great question, but research really indicates that if you have a case on it, it really reduces the likelihood of damage. And we don't want damage because we don't want you to have to pay anything for this if it is. And so if you keep it in its case, then you know that it's going to be more protected from accidental damage. If it's damaged and you're not using your case, there's probably going to be a case where you're not going to be covered by accidental protection because it goes back to you being negligent as the person that it's checked out to. Can we personalize it? This is also a great question. You can easily customize your Chromebook, the desktop area when you're on there, the apps that you have, your wallpaper as long as it's school appropriate. You can totally do all those different things, but you cannot actually personalize the device itself. You cannot color on it, you cannot put it on a different case, can't mark it up, stickers on it, bumper stickers. It needs to remain just kind of the way that it is. Since you're going to check it back in, and if you're a senior this year, those are going to go to freshmen next year. So it's really important that you're personalizing just the things in the computer and not the outside of it. Some people are asking about if programs that they have access to now on the desktops at school, if you'll have access to them on the Chromebook, such as Logger Pro, Photoshop. There's lots of programs we use here around school. And it really depends if that program will operate off the Chrome operating system. So if it's something that's web-based and you can open it up in the Chrome browser, then absolutely, it'll work. There are options for programs that we have now that are web-based. However, some things that are going to be available is something that we need to install using software, like a disk or some sort of install. Those aren't going to work the same. And so there's still reasons why we have our labs and that they can be used for those reasons.